Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is Grand Arena First Matchup, Season 24. This is the second season of Grand Arena 2.0. We've been in Kyber 2 the entire time. This is probably where we're going to be staying until we get a second Galactic Legend. But for only having one Galactic Legend, going up against 3 or 4 usually, I'm pretty happy so far. Quick recap of the final round of Season 23. First round, or the final week of Season 23, I should say. First round, this was a banner loss. Traya here losing up against Mon Mothma, but there's no Scion there, so that's a little deceptive. JTR losing up against Bosk, and this is a weak JTR team, but it's why I started putting Bosk on defense after going for the Executor. With the relic levels that Bosk team is at, weaker JTR teams now lose, and opponents very often will take a weak JTR team, attempt that Bosk battle, and end up losing, because before it would have been a win. Second round here, this opponent barely attacked, but of the battles he did, 2 attempts up against JTR and losing, and you can see got down to the Resistance heroes in the first attempt. In the second attempt, trying to clean up with Jedis and some relics, not even enough to handle the Resistance heroes, and that's why I love the Resistance heroes and why I push players to go after them. A lot of people delay them, but they really make the Resistance team way better. And CLS here losing up against Padme, and that's because of Commander Ahsoka, and that was a Gear 12 Commander Ahsoka. Final round here. This one was a loss. My opponent threw 4 Galactic Legends all on defense, and I just had no way through it. He only attacked enough to get through to get the win. He barely participated beyond that. But he also kept a ton for offense other than the Galactic Legends, which gave him what he needed. So this round, this is what we're looking at. My opponent is Falabu, or Falabu. He's got 2 Galactic Legends, JML here on defense. He's got the Executor. So he does have the GL advantage, but from looking at his Grand Arena history, he saves everything for offense and sets the same defense. So that gives me a pretty good advantage from being able to plan around the defense I know he's planning. I've been setting the same defense too, but I just kind of bet that most opponents aren't going to look, and I can tell from my opponent's Grand Arena history whether or not they're looking at Grand Arena histories for their planning, and for those opponents, then I change up my defense. Now here with Falabu, here's what the hotbot says. This is a Discord bot. I keep saying this because every video I don't explain what this is. It's inevitably a question. So this you can use on my Discord. Most guilds have it, but it is a Discord bot from Hot Utils. So lifetime banners here at 786. That is respectable, but usually is from opponents who get a lot of default wins and who lose maybe who in the old Grand Arena were probably going 2-1. That gives you the idea of that range. Clears are respectable, undersizes are fine. More GP on the top end than me. The Zetas, he's got a few more, much more relics, but in the range where I tend to do okay, but can still lose to. I have much more depth. The mod game, this is usually where I see people are turning bad mods into 6-dot mods, and why one of the things I say is a bad 5-dot mod is a bad 6-dot mod, because he has 65 more 6-dot mods and is short compared to me on all of his 10+, 15+, and 20+ speed mods. Overall relics, because he has almost double than me, he's going to have advantages in all these spots, but at least the bulk of them are in that tier 1 to 3 range, so not as scary, but still pretty tough. The tier 7, he's got a bunch of those. good speeds on his Galactic Legends, but I don't expect to see them. And then he does have speed advantages on a lot of these characters. So I've spread out my mods to a lot of various different teams, which is why some of these characters aren't as high as they need to be. I need to get Echo way faster. But he has focused his speeds on some key characters, so that's something to keep in mind, which is what I should be doing. So let's jump in here, show you what I've done, what he's done, and see if he's attacked yet. I haven't looked at this in a few hours. I just watched the 4th episode of Book of Boba Fett before I started this. Okay, so he hasn't gone yet. This is the defense I've been playing for most of Grand Arena so far. So, Beskar Mando, First Order, Mon Mothma, and while doing my testing, you do want to have Cara Dune on defense now that Iden Versio exists. Most of your opponents aren't going to have Iden Versio, but if they do, you need to put Cara Dune down there. Because her guaranteed stun on Empire is going to help out countering or stopping Iden Versio from clearing. We'll see how this goes. I've only been able to test it a couple times. Dash here to round out that territory. In the bottom, we've got Darth Revan. I threw gas on defense, which is a change from what I normally do. Usually I'm throwing Shock T in that gas slot, but because I know he's going to be saving everything for offense and he has those 2 Galactic Legends, I know I can pull his Galactic Legends away with gas and Darth Revan, making him have to make more difficult decisions on the rest of the board. What I'm betting on is, from looking at his Grand Arena history, he was going against some pretty shallow and soft defenses, which can lead players into getting sloppy or not knowing as many counters. So he's going to have to go a little bit deeper, go up against some teams that he's less familiar with, which will hopefully force a loss. Geos I've been doing for a while, not a while, but for a week on defense because of the amount of redundant counters it requires with Geos, Mon Mothma, Dash. Like, they all will fall to Traya, so hoping that one of those teams is going to get a hold because he can't spread around all his counters. With Iden Versio, though, as more players get Iden Versio, that might not hold. But it depends on how good Iden Versio is going to be, which is what we're going to be testing out. Because I did throw her Omicron on. And I'll put out some content about that, because I don't think a lot of players have footage on, or a lot of players applied the Iden Versio Omicron. So top territory here, we've got Night Sisters. We have Katarn at Gear 9, which is going to be very vulnerable. I'll talk more about that while we play it. Darth Revan, a weird Chewie team. Is this Chewie or is this Clone Wars Chewie? This gotta be Clone Wars Chewie. Did they change the art on him? I don't recognize him. Maybe I'm just not used to seeing him, but that's a weird team. I'm going to treat it as if it's a Dash team, though, because all the pieces are there. He would have been better off throwing Dash in the lead, even without the Zeta or Omicron, which he'll probably realize when he goes up against mine. Bottom territory here, we got Hux, a Qira, Geos, and a weaker Grievous team. So you can see these teams, we've got our standard counters. I think let's just get started clearing this bottom territory, open up the board, see what's on the back, but I think I know what we're going to see based on what he usually does. let me pull out my notes. I planned a route, or part of one. Yeah, so Night Sisters is what I wanted to do here. I could also do Bad Batch, but we're going to do Night Sisters. There's no Newt, there's no Watts, there's no BB-8. It's lower relics. Bad Batch would have been a good option too. Switch to this. I'm gonna do the AoE. I want to get Plague onto B1. Alright. I'm a little scared. Alright. You should be good now. With Plague on B1, whenever Telzing goes, those stacks are going to fall. Let's see if we can get stun over on Droidica. Just doing basics to keep driving those stacks. Okay. No! Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm irritated. Don't like that. You know what? This is what we got. We got to do the Iden Versio battle now. Because I don't want to use Traya here if Iden Versio fails. We need to know. I would have preferred getting started with a win, though. Especially this match is going to come down to banners. My opponent, with how much he saves for offense, he is going to be clearing my board. All right. I ran out of gear. Usually I take characters up to 11, but I ran out of gear. I ran out of Carbonis. So from my testing, I definitely want Death Trooper. Take Snow Trooper and Shore Trooper. Range is going to help additional assists for stacking the offense. Her Zeta gives her the revive, and the Omicron gives her a bunch of shared health, which should help. Because I tested this out in Territory Wars earlier today, and I could learn some good lessons, but it didn't work out for me because of some mistakes, and not mistakes, just not realizing a couple things in the moment. But they were vulnerable based on their health, and they weren't really targeting Verso. But her Omicron is what again? So it's the shared health and protection, and they're going to be recovering health and protection and getting turn meters. So she's going to be way better than she was in Territory Wars this morning. But what I did realize is Katarn is super vulnerable at these low stars here, because you can focus down on him early and take him out with a hit from Deathmark, and then Mon Mothma wastes a turn by trying to revive him. The opponent I want to against in Territory Wars, though, had Cara Dune, and going after Katarn made me a little vulnerable because Cara Dune was able to do her AoE that has a either guaranteed or increased stun chance against Empire. Alright, so I'm going to leave. Do you guys all this protection? Alright. I don't want him to go down yet. I want to. Okay. See, this went better this morning because he had less health and I could land the death mark. Or not land the death mark, but take him out permanently with the death mark. I don't think that's going to happen at Gear 11 on this guy, but I think I want to give it a shot anyway. Beautiful. So here in this morning, Cara Dune was able to come at me and stun me because I didn't target her second. In the moment, I forgot about that stun. I actually went for POW this morning. But what I want to do now is there's a stun on Death Troopers basic if there's daze on someone. And I think I want to take advantage of that and just spread the daze around. But we probably don't need it. This variant of Mon Mothma is not as dangerous as what I had to deal with earlier. And I'm not even getting the dazes for the stun. There I did, but it doesn't matter anymore. Let's do this. Just take him out permanently. Okay, this worked well, but it was a mix of relics in Gear 12. No Cara Dune. It's nice to know that this is going to be an effective counter against at least a lot of Mon Mothma teams until players realize that maybe using random rebels who have relics is not the best way to go. It's not the way I go. I could throw relics down with my Mon Mothma, but I don't, because the synergy of my POW and Hoth Rebel Scout and Katarn and Kara work better for me than relying on gear levels. I don't feel like we learned too much. That's basically what should have happened. I want to go up against tougher ones. Alright, so let's return to this lower territory. Clean up some nonsense. Why am I bringing in so much? Because Darth Talon's just gonna die. But I did increase the gear on Traya. Yeah, let's just do it. There's not like a big chance of losing or anything, but there is just... It's not a guarantee. Depending on who they target, there's some that sometimes you just get a loss. See, sometimes things like this happen. And that's why I bring in Savage. But I think that might be the first time it ever actually worked. I'm really gonna have to waste this on Brute. Yeah, see, this is why I brought in the bodies. Sometimes you get runs where you feel like you can beat every Geo teams, and then sometimes you get sloppier ones. Alright, how do I want to play this? What was in my notes? We'll clean up Grievous later. I wrote down CLS Hux. Yeah. Wait. No. Yeah. I just respect Hux. Especially at these high relic levels. This is a weird roster where he has a ton of relics on his first order and on his resistance teams, but doesn't have either SLKR or Galactic Legend Ray. It's a situation where he would have benefited from a little bit more focus. We'll hit Hux, but Sith Trooper is going to clear things. Okay, good. Took him out. Yeah, let's just do it. I was considering for a second not. Yeah, right, there we go. Just take him out. He's close enough. I should have threw Confuse on Kylo to stop the retribution. Doesn't really matter. Let's get a stun on him at least. Can't believe I lost the Grievous team. I've beat far better Grievous teams than that. Okay, so Qira. Weird Qira team, but her lead is going to increase all the damage. We're not going to be able to focus on Dengar. Canderous will have a bunch of assists, and the turn meter will be generated from Han here. I don't even think I threw down what I wanted to do here. So Qira. Yeah, I didn't say anything for Qira. We might just do something like Empire or something. So what's on the back wall is going to be a Phasma team that I'm going to nest. There's going to be a Wedge team. A Darth Maul team. Yeah, those should be the teams on the back wall, which are all fairly straightforward. I might just use something good. And then top territory is where his Darth Revan is, right? Yeah. Could do some combination of Jedi. We could do Qui-Gon. Should I try Qui-Gon against that? That could also be a disaster. Probably should just use my Empire. Let's just do it. There's no one on the top territory I want to use Empire against, right? Because with L3, using the Empire is going to be annoying. Because L3 will keep cleansing the debuffs. Oh, it's Night Sisters. Okay. Night Sisters, we're just going to Troopers. So we'll use Empire here up against Qira. It's going to be more than what we need. Oops. Palpatine is one of the newer relics. Took Mara Jade up to 4 stars. Royal Guard, I mean, I should take up a little higher because the Gear 11 Guard is pretty junk. Throw out those debuffs. Let's jump into Merciless Massacre. We can probably... Let's just hit everybody. Yeah, I wanted to hit everybody because I wanted to see who deserves the saber throw. I kind of thought they would hold up to more than they did. The reason I did that, I didn't want to waste that attack on Mando because I had turns coming up. Just chuck it. This is why I didn't really want to do this, is just I knew it was going to massively overpower this team. Alright, how do we want to clean this up? We could do that dumb thing that worked a couple videos ago of me somehow clearing Grievous with Akbar. That was an insane thing that happened. Can I just use these bounty hunters I'm not going to use anywhere else? I'm going to do this, but it's a dumb thing to be doing. Yeah, let's do it. The reason this is dumb is because one poorly timed Merciless Massacre could wipe out some of these guys. but I'm not going to really use these characters elsewhere, so hopefully we're okay. Alright, let's chuck this. This is one thing I did, is I made sure my Zam was faster than my Mando, so she could throw thermals and I could call her to assist. Because now she gets a bonus turn. Let's pull that turn meter away. Chuck those thermals, take a turn. Mando will go in a moment and disintegrate. Perfect. Okay. That works a lot better now that I did that with the speeds. Because being able to call in Zam just helps get that contract off faster. Yeah, see, Maul, Phasma. This is the same stuff he always sets. Alright. We're just gonna nest this. This is why I actually kept Nest for once. Nest has been being thrown on defense a lot lately. What relic level is my Nest? I wasn't paying attention. Was that... I need to increase her relic levels. She deserves relic 5. I think she's either 3 or 4. I think 4. Okay, let's start clearing these buffs. Hopefully get rid of a couple more of these tenacities so that when I do the AoE, I can land some dazes. Which we got. I actually don't mind that we lost turn meter there, because we're doing so much damage from all the counters. But you can see how much of an engine that officer is providing. I really want to take him out. Again, pulling that turn meter away. Forget how the damage stacks. Like, I don't think just these counters is allowing the damage to stack that much. I think I need to take turns, but I might be wrong about that. It's just some of these characters you just... you don't remember some of the nuances of the kit. You gotta refresh yourself from time to time. Well, it looks like Pilot will go down soon. Let's AoE now. Perfect. I'm just going to take out Executioner while we... No. I thought it'd go down. Okay. Let's take him out. I just thought that would be a bigger hit. Okay. That worked out exactly as I wanted. We still have a ton of stuff now. We might go for undersizes, actually. Because I need to get some banners back. Alright, so this is a weaker Darth Revan team. This is what I've done several times up against these weak Darth Revans. This is kind of a dumb thing to do. I probably don't need to do it anymore. I know I don't need to do it anymore. I would always just throw in junk with Jedi Master Luke, because JML plus junk Jedi is enough to clear a Darth Revan team. And I would do it because it would open up flexibility within my roster to use Jedi elsewhere, use Jedi Knight Luke or Gas elsewhere. But we still have Maul. Let's do the Troopers battle first. If I had Gas, we could throw in Gas here. Excuse me. Oh, we don't have range. Or snow. Let's do that. I guess not the next thing. One of the things I want to do with Verso is just see if we can remove some of those characters from the team. If Death can go or Range can go elsewhere. I think I'm going to throw this on Stark. Normally I'd throw it on Range. This has got the turn meter. The rest of that would be a waste. I'm going to do the days. Let's start getting stacks of armor shred on Daka just in case. So there's one sacrifice. This should be 2 sacrifice. Take out Daka before she can do her job. This was more fun before I had a Relic 8 Piet. I miss the days of beating that with just Gear 11 or full Gear 11 troopers. Everyone else is. Well, I guess Dark Trooper's Gear 12 now. I'm working towards his relic. Alright, so I guess I've got Maul I can use somewhere. Maul might be fine there, but I could also just use Jedi Knight Luke. And what was below? So the thing with Maul is there's not really an undersized team I would do. I want to do something dumb. I want to use Bad Batch here up against Maul. It's kind of an unnecessary risk because they would definitely take out ROLO. But we're going to do it. I don't think they're going to fail. I'm fairly confident about this. But if they do, this is the type of decision that costs me wins. Because my opponent is going to full clear me. His defense is too weak. Really what I should be doing is going for solos and going for banners to give myself an advantage in that respect. Why are they that fast? I need to get my guys faster. Alright, so there's a bunch of dazes. Let's throw out the stuns. Get our buffs going. Get some stuns. I want Dooku here. Oh, you're stealth now. Oh, that's why Wampa is on this team. Okay. See, this is how I thought this was gonna go. But it was an unnecessary risk. But it's one of the reasons I love my Gear 11 Bad Batch. They're great at cleaning up these like junk Galactic Legend relic teams that people keep throwing on defense. I really gotta find a solo for that one. It would be really too bad if I used a good team to beat it. See, I still got Qui-Gon, who I would like to use some more. A lot of people use Qui-Gon on defense, and I'm starting to feel like that's how I should use him, just because the way he works are kind of guaranteed to reduce your banners. And I just haven't done it because, one, we've seen changes to the Omicron. We don't know what that looks like yet. Wanted to test out Qui-Gon on offense for my own knowledge, and I've got a Gear 12 one with a Gear 12 Ayla. Mine's not as good as some of the other ones. I don't know how much that matters really. Let's just do Jedi. Is that what we're gonna do? I kind of want to keep Yoda just in case I decide to use Qui-Gon in a second. We can use Shakti. Maybe we won't. Maybe let's do Ezra. Just because I'm thinking of characters, maybe we'll pair them with Qui-Gon in a second. I'm undecided on whether or not I'm going to use them. This is actually more than we need. Let's do this so we can have an undersized battle. It's just a banner though. Solos are better. There's just not I just don't think I have a solo available. We've got undersizes is what we've got. Ooh, we could try Wampa up against those. That would be dumb to do, but we could do it. Maybe we will. There's a pretty good chance I'm going to throw that Wampa in. At least an undersize with armor and Watt. Yeah. Go after Vandor right away so he can't do any of that revive stuff. Stun everybody. Swap with Hermit so we can throw Master's Training around. Let's hit Zelbar while we've got a window of opportunity. L3 is going to be annoying for a little bit. I'm kind of surprised it's got all these relics on these characters, but doesn't have dash. And one of the things you should be doing, maybe this is a video topic, I don't know. One of the things you should be doing is looking at your Grand Arena history and seeing how your defenses perform. And if they're always losing and they're losing to bad teams, then don't use them. And when I was looking at this guy's Grand Arena history, this is a team that was not contributing. Maybe they have in the past, but I think if you have filler on defense, you need to find a substitute. See, now I'm thinking maybe I should have done this. I should have gone the high banner way of beating Darth Revan. I was talking about banners for all these other battles, and now I'm locking myself into a low banner confrontation with Darth Revan. I think we'll just do what we normally do, but we'll throw in Watt. Not what we normally do, what we sometimes do. With Watt, we could probably undersize this. You can also do this with Gear 11 or Gear 12 Jedi. I just have... With these other ones, it's a likely higher banner attempt. Just spread these around, get these attacks off. I'm going to increase cooldowns on her so it messes up the synergy between her and Darth Revan. And I want to take her out as quickly as possible. See, that's what I mean. She would have shocked me otherwise. And what Watt adds is... What Watt adds is the taunt's not going away. And just will help keep everyone a little bit more alive. Except for that. Let's do that. With more gear on Bastila, that would have been a little better. And it's going to be like Akbar and Chimera for defense. He's got Executor and Negotiator. He's got to have Malevolence, but I don't know. I don't recall seeing the Malevolence in his history. Now the question is... God, I really want to solo this. Or not quite solo, but... Like, the smart thing would be to do something like Maul. But I don't think we're going to be smart. The thing is, though, if I'm losing characters... that's going to cost me banners. Let's throw in Scarif, because maybe he'll revive himself and contribute. Let's do this. I'm going to do this. It might be dumb. I want my stacks of the Beskar. See, like, they always go after armor. This is what I hate. And then you get ability block. I have so much tenacity on my armor. But this is why I brought in a tank. Alright. That daze. Do not die on me. Armor. Okay, here we go. This is all I want. Now it's a win. This is a question of how sloppy of a win. We just gotta get Captain Han out of here. That daze, come on. I might take armor up to gear 12. She irritates me. I got a couple more banners. It was just that Night Sister battle I got messed up, right? Everything else went to plan. You may need to check the mods on those guys. Make sure they're... I haven't touched their mods in a while. It might be a thing where they're not as fast. That relatively, they have become slower as my mods have changed. I probably have mods I can put on there. This is a slight change from his standard defense. But he doesn't have the right versions of teams. Let's just do guess I should probably do the AoE. I should be targeting the hyena bomber, but I didn't. Yeah. Okay. You guys gotta be assisting, though. Seriously? Okay. Oh my god, do not. Alright. You guys should be doing so much better than this. I considered not bringing out Spy, but let's do this. I miss IG 2000. You cannot let this happen. It's absurd. That was the wrong one. I hate losing track of the vulture droid. We're gonna counter this with rebels. Mine are better. Yeah, let's take out the Y-Wing. There we go. Find me Biggs. It's kind of crazy we don't have Luke's X-Wing yet. There we go. We'll see how it goes on his. What's my banner count? 1707. I don't know, that's we'll see how he does. Hopefully we pull out 2 holds. And he might try and undersize with his GLs. But otherwise, hopefully we get lucky. So I just put out a talk video on my quarterly speculation for the next 3 months of just what I think might be happening within the game based on other things going on. I had a list video last week on, I don't remember. Oh, I was looking at the marquee characters and just evaluating those. And we're still getting caught up for the new year, but the workload is evening out now that we're transitioning into this, so trying to get on a more consistent release schedule. So thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. Be safe out there, everyone. Be excellent to each other. This is still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.